Hey Mules, today we're gonna touch on a more advanced subject of debugging Mulesoft connectors. Imagine you're on a project, you're using some out-of-the-box Mulesoft connector, and you run into an issue and you cannot understand why the connector is not behaving the way you want it to behave. So an easy way to fix it and understand the connector behavior is to actually debug the connector. The problem is that there's no source code associated with them. So I'm gonna show you how you can decompile the code as well as debug through it using Anypoint Studio. Let's install decompiler. First, I recommend using JD Eclipse. It works, it's easy to install. We're gonna go into download section and simply download this site. So you download site as the zip. Once it's downloaded, as you see, it takes seconds. We're gonna go back to Studio to help install new software. Here we need to add a new site. Now this is not a typical remote site. This is an archive we just downloaded. Press the archive button, select your zip, open, give it a name, JD decompiler. As you see, it appears here. Select everything. I actually have everything installed already. Press next, 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 finish, and Studio will restart. After Studio restarts, we're gonna open the project. We're gonna pick one of the Mulesoft modules or connectors. Say this is HTTP. We're gonna drill into the actual HTTP Mule plugin jar and select something that we can debug. Say this HTTP listener provider class. As you see, it's a class file, it's bytecode, but if we double click on it, it gets decompiled by our Java decompiler plugin that we installed. If you don't have this happening, if you still see bytecode, you need to go to Preferences, type File Associations, select this class without source, and make sure that JD class file viewer is the default editor. If it's not, you simply press add, type JD. It actually exists, let's remove it. Type JD, it's right there. Make it default, apply, close. Perfect. Now in here, we can set a breakpoint, just like we did here. To set breakpoint, you can right click and say toggle breakpoint, or simply double click. Let's test the breakpoint and see if we can actually make Anypoint Studio stop at this line and allow us to debug this entire connector. Right click on your project, select debug as your application. So this will prompt you several times to allow turning on debugger, as you will see in a couple of seconds. So it tries to open the debugger perspective, and we say yes, yes to both. So as you see here, we are stopped at the line where we set the breakpoint, which is perfect. Now we don't have any controls here, and that's because we need to switch to Java debug perspective by clicking this bug here. Once we switch, we can actually debug Java code, not Mule application code. So once we switch, you see we have these controls here that allow us to step through the code. As you see, we step. This is typical debugging of Java. When we step through, we can see variables, we can expand and actually look at the values of the variables. There you go. Hope that will help you.